quite the Houdini act by Paul if he can pull this off somehow.
In he comes. Smashing galore. Jace the Mind Sculptor on top for Ben. He is going to get his 4/4 Vigilant Flyer to come to the party.
Trade Hawks, eat your token.
Okay. That is the plan.
Yep.
So only the Goblin Guide actually made it through.
Right.
As Stark falls to 11.
Then Rietzl finishes the Colonnade off with a Lightning Bolt.
Which means that right now Ben is notionally defenseless in that he has neither Gideon defense, nor Colonnade defense, nor, you know, creatures of any kind. No Squadron Hawks floating about.
Doing a quick Day of Judgment check there.
A prime skill for aggro players the world over. Day of Judgment check.
Play a Squadron Hawks and go.
Interesting that despite having multiple fetch lands available, Paul's consistently refused to play his step links and do things with that. That still remains. Perhaps that's his idea of the final wave if everything else fails, and then he gets to have one, make the step links, here's a bunch of fetch lands, next turn, boom.
Sure.
Because he's been saying, have you got it, quite a lot today.
Yeah.
And finding that, no, they haven't.
No. It was fascinating to watch him play that third game against Patrick Chapin. I don't know how much of it was motivated by wanting to get to the GP in time.
Jace the Mind Sculptor comes down for Ben Stark, and he will instantly brainstorm. Look at the top three. And try and stem the bleeding in this one. Wasn't long ago, it seemed like we were heading for 3-1.
You put 2 back so far or just 1? Okay. Two.
So the 2 cards go back on top. Ben lays Island. Taps it and Seachrome Coast for Squadron Hawk.
I think that's the usual deal, searching but not finding. It's my fourth, right?
You got it.
So he's going to search but not find.
Right. Shuffle back the cards he
That's
just
right.
brainstormed on top of his library.
We talk about Paul having a heavy schedule, but I'm just looking through my notes from the quarterfinals, and the first game in Lemoyne Shimura, for example, was over by 9:08, and at 10:30, everything except Ben Stark and Tom Martell was done, and they had another hour and a half of magic. So Ben's feeling it too.
But, you know, Hero of Oxidridge would be so interesting here.
You really want to see that card, don't
I'm really
you?
curious
Like,
to see how
where
good
is
it is. It's not showing up, but I mean, he would get in for 4, 7, 9. He would have Stark within Lightning Bolt range.
Squadron Hawk, Evolving Wilds, Step Links are in Paul Rietzl's hand. +1.
He attacked
Looks
Jace
like
that
a relatively unexciting Plains is his 4th card.
2 cards? Yes.
Jace the Mind Sculptor now down to 1.
I have no idea the other one.
As Stark
You can tap and do that too if you want. What? You can tap and do that too, it's no different.
Oh, yeah, good.
has a look through his graveyard.
It's a reasonable enough draw, I think.
No need to crack the Misty Rainforest at this stage. No need to give a bonus point away. And nothing he particularly wants to shuffle away.
In fact, he might even want to save that shuffle.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And there's the Wrath. Slash Day of Judgment.
Yep.
Stone Forge Mystic.
I still call WW2 Wrath.
The good one got moved, right?
Sorry.
Yep.
The Day of Judgment. Silver
Stone Forge
Life
Mystic for
Staff
Silver
arrives.
Staff, yeah.
So what does Paul have left? He's had another go. He's got Ben to 11. He's a lot closer than he was in this game.
We know he's got a Spike Shot Elder. He's got the Hero of Oxid Ridge.
He casts Squadron Hawk and passes. Still doesn't play Step Links.
Adventuring Gear. Adventuring Gear from the Squadron Hawk.
You have 2 cards.
Yes.
Of course, yep. Got Day of Judgment away the previous turn, so I was just checking my notes while that happened.
No responses.
Preordain from Stark. Has a little shrug to himself. Really doesn't seem sure what he wants to do. Finally puts 1 on the bottom, takes the 2nd into hand as the draw off the Preordain. And there you see the table. And the 2 players
Okay.
I haven't
who
used it.
fought over nearly 10 hours now today.
Now he's brainstorming with Jace. After checking to make sure he didn't already brainstorm with Jace this turn. These guys are both played very long days.
That's a bad sign. That's what I told him like about a half hour ago. I'm like, if they start coming over, I am in a lot of trouble.
Ben's cronies are sort of along the rail watching, and Paul thinks that that does not bode well for the
Keep on the ground. Goblin.
length of this game.
The proverbial shark circling for blood in the water.
Certainly.
19.
There you
You can see the Owen Turtwald and Eric Froelich and Louis Scott Vargas along the rail, otherwise known as the top 16 from this Pro Tour.
That's right.
Tom
the
Ross,
Boss Ross,
Brad Nelson, Player of the Year, Craig Wesco popping up to make sure nothing shady's going on. There's Corey Baumeister, Colosso Fuentes, Martin Yuza. Some players whose names I don't know, I apologize.
A man wearing a rabbit. And there's someone we do know a bit about, Paul Rietzl.
He's got another Step Links in play.
So Gideon Jura, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Stoneforge Mystic for Ben Stark, Step Links, Squadron Hawk for Paul Rietzl. There will be a United States of America winner of this Pro Tour. And right now, it is once again looking like Ben Stark is in good shape. He attacks with his Stoneforge Mystic, which is now equipped with Silvok Lifestaff.
Like, yep, you could eat it with your Step Links if you'd like. Ben happily goes to 14.
14.
taking it to 9. I use Jace.
That looks like he cast Day of Adjustment after.
Now.
Day of Judgment cleared the board post-combat there.
Take the draw.
See people taking pictures, watching the event through phones.
Here you go.
Interestingly, the person that owns the phone is apparently a camera.
It's
Yes.
13 moves away, but it's there. It's there.
But a cool shot
He doesn't
nonetheless.
see it yet.
One counter on Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Is that 9 on Gideon?
I believe it is.
Ben's at 13 after breaking a fetch land.
Send this to 11.
Just ticks Gideon up. He's like, if you have anything hasty, it's coming at Gideon. Plays
And
Baneslayer
now-
and Ratchet Bomb. Oh boy.
I use Gideon, I use Jace.
And again, the more community that we talked about previous is not relevant because of Gideon.
Today's just on time delivery.
You've got to feel it's getting close.
I know I'm putting on my jacket.
Don't tell Ben. Well, you can tell Ben, actually. Don't tell Paul.
You can see a shot of us from the Player of the Year in the background there.
Or 24, I got it. Did you miss
Yeah,
the
that
first
was
one?
tremendous fun.
You won when you didn't. I got you.
And so is this, Dave. I mean, it's just been great.
I'm sorry. Alright, so Gideon's on 5. Journey to Baneslayer.
Yep. Here you go.
Counter.
Yep.
There's your Player of the Year in the background, Brad Nelson, or a Player of last year. Could be a Player of the Year, certainly a Player of the Year frontrunner sitting at this table.
Fate Seal rarely has an ability being so aptly named.
Plus 2 to 7.
Paul looks. He had Journey to Nowhere for a Baneslayer, but Baneslayer number 2 has arrived for Ben. It's equipped with Silver Life Staff. There is Gideon. There is Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Fate Seal, did I plus 2 at this turn? Okay. I played this, I equipped. Yeah, sure, go.
Pass the turn.
Good job, buddy.
Taking his time,
That
extends the
is
hand.
the hand.
Congratulations,
And
Ben Stark.
Stark of the United States of America is your Pro Tour champion for Pro Tour Paris 2011.
He does
There
not
you
look like he can
see.
believe it after all these years, after fighting to get back on the Pro Tour and the PTQ circuit, after playing catch up for a year, after having been away from this level of competition, where he felt like you said he was a step behind. To see him get there and really hit the ground running for this season is just tremendous. What a great win for Ben Stark.